there, whiskey lovers. Welcome once again here in Belgium in the basement where Mark will be handing out another rambling, this time about the BenRiach. So we are with the BenRiach in the heart of Speyside. And Speyside is now actually the heart of the whiskey industry because almost half of all the operating distilleries can be found in that small region in the Highlands near the River Spey, hence the name Speyside. The BenRiach was originally founded in 1897 by John Duff and Company, and in 1898 production started, but it did not last long. In 1899, neighbouring Longmorn already purchased the distillery. And if you visit BenRiach Distillery near Elgin, you will see that indeed Longmorn and BenRiach are quite close to each other. In fact, the warehouses are adjacent to each other, so it would be a sensible idea for the BenRiach and Longmorn to actually use each other's warehouses and swap some casks for fire protection. So if one of the warehouses goes up into flames, not all the whiskey from both distilleries is lost. So Longmorn had purchased the BenRiach distillery in 1899, but again, it did not last long. In 1903, the BenRiach distillery was mothballed for the first time, and it looked as if it would not reopen because it stayed closed. It stayed silent for 62 years. Yes, you've heard that right. It did not reopen until 1965. Then it was purchased by the Glenlivet distillers, who again sold it in 1978 to Seagram's. But it was closed for a very long time, as you can understand. Now, the BenRiach, heart of Speyside, so they are known for creating a very fruity and rich spirit, maybe a slightly lighter style than what you would be used to from the Highlands. But they try to experiment as well, and maybe it's a bit unusual for a Speysider, but indeed BenRiach created peated whiskies as well, and they started doing that in 1983, which was also the year in which they increased their stills. So they started creating these peaty whiskies, which now are very much sought after and very popular. In 1994, the first single malt BenRiach was released to the market, but again, it was mothballed in 2002. So BenRiach has been open, closed, open, closed. They have a bit of a checkered past, but that was all about to change when in 2004 it was purchased by Intra Trading, a financial group, and Billy Walker, who gave the BenRiach a new lease on life. And as Billy Walker took over the company, they started to putting the BenRiach back on the map for real this time, and it has become since one of the icons of the Speyside whiskey region, one of the icons in the whiskey business as a whole, because the BenRiach is very popular because they make such beautiful whiskies. In 2007 they started releasing these single cask bottlings, but they also have a core range, classic Speyside on the one hand. They've got the heart of Speyside, the 12-year-old, the 16-year-old and the 20-year-old, but on the other hand they also have a peated range with the Aromaticus, the Authenticus, the Famosus range. So they have quite a few peated whiskies as well. And today I would like to introduce to you another whiskey that is neither in the classic style, nor in the wood finishing styles, nor in the peated style, just like that. No, it is a combination of those. Today we will be trying the Solstice. The Solstice. Now, Solstice gets its name from an astronomical event. When you Google Solstice, for example, well, the first thing you will come across is a Pontiac sports car, but that's got nothing to do with the astronomical event that happens twice a year. It's when the sun is at its highest inclination point or de-inclination point in the sky. It's when summer starts, it's when winter starts. Basically, it's an event, astronomical event that happens twice a year, and that's where this solstice takes its name from. It is a 17-year-old, first matured on bourbon barrels and then finished in tawny port pipes, but this is a heavily peated whiskey. It takes its name from Latin. Sol is the sun, stis comes from sistere, which means standing still. So the sun standing still. That's what this BenRiach 17-year-old is about. There was a 15-year-old that was released on the 21st December 2010, but on the 22nd December 2011, a year later, they released this 17-year-old because the first one was so popular. So that's what the Solstice is standing for. It's kind of a rebirth thing. But enough history, enough lecturing, enough science. We are here to taste whiskey. And this BenRiach whiskey, the Solstice, has got a beautiful, you know, it's not gold, it's not even amber, it's ruby pink. That must be the port. It's ruby pink. This is nice. Good. Oh, ruby pink. All right, never seen this before. So clearly some influence from the port cask there. It is bottled at an ABV of 50%, which I find to be a good drinking strength. Ooh, heavily peated indeed. It's immediately there. Oh yeah. So it's earthy. It's got some clay in there. A lot of wood, some leather. Oh, it turns fruity after a while, but the first hints are heavily peated indeed. It's also got some cinnamon and some sweet peaches in there. It's even got a, dare I say it, it's got a farmy side to it as well. But it is earthy, peaty. Not peaty like you would find in Islay. Different kind of peat, a sweeter peat. Now the peat is well, it's not fading. Well, maybe it is. It's fading a little bit, but it's making room. It's moving over to allow the fruity side of the BenRiach to emerge. Yeah, it does get a bit jammy, you know, like strawberry jam and blackcurrant jam. All kinds of jam. All kinds of berries, I mean. But it is enjoyable. This is very good. Alright, the palate. It's a bit malty. Nice and fruity, but again, the peat kicks in. It's quite spicy as well. It's cinnamon, some pepper, cloves, clearly cloves. Excuse me. But the jammy notes are still there. It's more strawberries now. Smoked strawberries, that's what I'm getting. And it is very nice. Weird, but nice. Very nice, in fact. But again, the fruitiness in this case is, again, a bit overpowered by the heavy, peaty flavors here. It's rather, the smokiness is overpowering the rest of the spirit. But not in a bad way. This is enjoyable, very much so. There's even a slight nuttiness coming through here. It's not almonds, I would say hazelnut. And I think it's got a good balance. Both the fruity notes, the malty notes, and the smoky notes on the other hand. I think it's a nice marriage. This one works very well. It is well composed. The finish. Well, it's definitely satisfying. It's pretty long. The smokiness is fading very slowly. And the cloves and the strawberry jam shine through again on the finish. This is very nice. But I have to say, this is not the type of drink that I would use before dinner. This is more like, it's more like a winter dram. And basically being released in December for the winter solstice, that's probably how it was intended as well, because it is very rich, very profound, very, it's a bold expression with heightened flavors, very fruity on the one hand, but very smoky on the other hand. So it's not an extreme whiskey, but it is getting there. And it's a profile that is best enjoyed, I would say, during a cold winter night in front of the open fire in front of the hearth, or at least a good television show. in your leather sofa. No cigars though, no cigars. But this is one for the winter. So, well, it's not winter now, so I'm going to put this back in my cabinet and take it back out in winter, because that's what this one is definitely for. But it is a very nice expression, the BenRiach Solstice 17-year-old, one that I would definitely recommend. Apart from the somewhat strange ruby pink colour, it is a wonderful whiskey, and I will be enjoying this one coming winter. I hope you will as well. But until then, I hope to see you again at one of Mark's Whiskey Ramblings real soon. May the malt be with you. Bye bye.